Good day everyone, I am Clarice Maming, your reporter for today. I will be discussing about the pollution and destruction in our environment. Before going through the discussion, let us first answer this question. Does technological and industrial processes have contribution in pollution? You are free to post this video for you to think your own answer. Technological and industrial processes are making new products, making new technologies, and that lead to the contribution of toxic chemicals that is very harmful to our living things. If those toxic chemicals released in our environment, these pollutants contaminate water, soil, and air. Malaki ang epekto ng pollution sa ating environment, sa ating buhay. We, human, are exposed to these pollutants. We are exposed and also we are the subject of their toxic effect. For example, factory. Sino ba ang namamahala sa factory? Siyempre, human. Ang factory, nagre-release ng malalaking usok, which is, yung usok na yun ay nag-contain ng mga chemicals, na kapag yung chemicals na yun ay nag-mix sa atmospheric water, ay magkakaroon ng acidic precipitation or what we call the acid rain. Kapag pumatak yung acid rain na yun, magiging apektado ang lahat ng nasa ground, bodies of water, and natural ecosystem. For example, sa bodies of water, lake, magiging acidic ang lake. All species, different kinds of fish na nasa lakes, ay magiging in danger ang buhay. And also, ganun din sa natural ecosystem. So much for that. Let's move on to the question. At the end of this topic, you will be able to understand and enhance your knowledge about pollution and also the effect of it in our environment and in our life, and of course how to prevent this pollution. So let us proceed to our discussion. Pollution, a harmful materials to environment. These harmful materials is what we call the pollutants. It can be natural. For instance, is the volcanic ash. If the volcano erupts, it affects the water, air, and the soil. The other one is it can be created by human activity, such as the trash or the improper waste disposal or runoff produced by the factories. Pollutants damage the quality of land, water, and air. So here we have types of pollution: soil, radioactive, light, water, air, noise, and thermal. The coverage of this report is only in the soil and the radioactive. So let's proceed. Soil pollution is a presence of toxic chemicals in the soil. So those toxic chemicals ay pwedeng maging pollutants o di kaya contaminants. Sa case ng contaminants, it is naturally occur in the soil. Pero kapag ang level ng contaminants ay nag-exceed sa normal na level nito, ay magkakaroon ng pollution. So lahat ng soils, polluted man or hindi, ay nagko-contain ng iba't ibang compound which are naturally present in the soil. So what are those contaminants? We have phosphates, carbonates, sulfates, and nitrates. Ano ba ang nagagawa ng mga compounds na ito sa soil at sa plant? So dun muna tayo sa phosphate. Ang phosphate ay nakakatulong sa pag-grow ng plant. Ang carbonates naman ay nabubuo ito sa resulta ng weathering. So, ang carbonates formed in the soil as a result of weathering of original minerals rich in calcium. Pag sinabi nating weathering, it is breaking down rocks and minerals. Carbonate affect the soil kapag tumaas ang level ng calcium nito. Ang nangyayari sa pag-increase ng calcium carbonate, ang pH level natin ay bumababa. Ano ba yung role ng pH sa soil? Well, its role is to maintain the availability of nutrients essential for plant to grow. Next is sulfates, or also called the sulfur. It is also essential for plant nutrients na nakakatulong sa pag-grow ng plant. And ganun din yung nitrates. Kasi ang nitrates ay composed of elements na oxygen and nitrogen, and it is very important for a plant to grow. So we also have organic compounds. Those are lipids, proteins, fatty acid, and hydrocarbons. Those compounds are it helps the plants to grow. So these compounds are mainly formed through soil microbial activity and decomposition of organisms. So first, let us discuss about the soil microbial activity. Soil microbial activity. So merong tinatawag na microbial inoculants, and this is the source or supplier of beneficial bacteria. So maraming function ang beneficial bacteria. I will give some of it. First is, kaya nitong mag-fix ng nutrients sa lupa like rhizobium and mycorrhiza. So those two beneficial bacteria ay kumukuha ng nitrogen sa hangin. Kasi 'di ba, ang hangin natin ay composed of 78% of nitrogen. So, yung nitrogen sa hangin, hindi makaya ng halaman. Ang ginagawa ng microorganism na yun, kinukuha nila yun, tas nilalagay sa lupa. So, kapag napunta yan sa lupa, makakain na ng mga halaman. And then, another function of beneficial bacteria is yung pagpigil sa pagdami ng mga pathogens. Kapag sinabi natin pathogens, it can cause illness sa plants. So, another function is nagre-recycle din sila ng mga pagkain ng halaman. For example, yung puno. Laglaglag ng mga dried leaves na malalaglag sa lupa. At sa lupa, syempre nakaabang na yung mga beneficial bacteria. At kapag na-decompose na yung mga dried leaves na yun sa tulong ng mga beneficial bacteria, yun yung magiging pagkain ulit ng puno. So, nare-recycle yung nutrients na nasa soil. So, next is decomposition of organism. So, sobrang familiar na tayo sa process na ito na kung saan yung mga dead tissues ay nagbe-breakdown ng dahan-dahan and nagko-convert into simpler organic forms na sumasama sa soil. At ang natitira na lang ay yung skeletal or yung bone ng isang organism. We also have here soil disturbance. We have biological disturbance and chemical disturbance. In biological disturbance such as overgrazing, nililimit nito yung plant's ability to harvest CO2 or carbon dioxide and sunlight. And another one is chemical disturbance. Ang example nito ay yung sobrang pag-apply ng mga nutrient and pesticides sa isang halaman sa mga halaman. It can disrupt the soil food web functions. So, lagi natin tatandaan na kapag ang amount ng soil contaminants ay nag-exceed sa natural levels, ay nagkakaroon na ng pollution. There are two main causes through which soil pollution is generated. We have anthropogenic or the man-made causes and natural causes. So dito sa anthropogenic man-made causes, ito yung mga maling gawain ng mga tao na nagdudulot ng pollution. For example, yung improper disposal of waste na nagmula sa mga industrial or urban sources. Meron ding mga industrial activities, tsaka mga agricultural pesticides. Sa natural causes naman ay sa mga volcanic eruption, forest fires, and grass fires. So yung mga ash, sulfur dioxide, smog, salt spray, volcanic ash, and combustion gases and radon ay nagkukos ng pollution. Dumako naman tayo sa effect of soil pollution. So, anyone is susceptible to soil pollution. Plants, animals, and humans. This effect may vary based on age, general health status, and other factors. Yung mga children ang usually the more susceptible to exposure to contaminants kasi they come in close contact with soil kapag naglalaro sa ground. So these are the effects of soil pollution. We have effect on the environment, effect on the economy, effect of industry, effect on our health, and on the society. First, we have effect on the environment. It causes chain reaction and it reduces soil organic matter and soils and the capacity to act as a filter. For example, yung polluted soil ay nag-release ng mga contaminants into the groundwater which is na-accumulate ng plant tissues and then napapas to grazing animals like birds, and finally to the humans that eat the plants and animals. Pollutants in soil, groundwater, and in food chain ay nagkukos ng iba't ibang sakit sa human. Pwede itong short-term, acute effect, for example is diarrhea lamang, at nagiging long-term chronic effect na napapapunta sa o na nagiging cancer. So next, we have effect on industry. Soil pollution can be a result of poor agricultural practices. So kapag unstable ang agricultural practices, ay pwedeng ma-reduce yung soil organic matter. So kailangan maging mapanatili ang agricultural production practices para ma-ensure ang current and future global food security. Next is effect on the economy. Soil pollution affect food security by reducing crop yields and quality. So yung mga yung mga crops na napoproduce ng plants ay nagiging not healthy na. So safe, nutritious, and good quality food can only be produced if our soil are healthy. Without healthy soils, we won't be able to produce enough food to achieve. Next is effect on our health. Soil pollution can put our health at risk. So, maraming dulot na sakit ng soil pollution sa isang tao. For example, is yung neuromuscular blockage as well as depression of the central nervous system. Nanakit ng ulo, nausea, fatigue, eye irritation, and skin rash na pwedeng ikamatay ng tao. Next is effect on society. It affects food, water, air, and our health. So the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe, yung health natin and health ng iba pang organism dito sa planet ay nakadepende sa healthy ng soil. So that's are the effects of soil pollution. There are some ways to prevent or lessen the soil pollution. Ang una is yung proper management of agricultural land and the practice of organic farming. So, kailangan maging maayos yung pag-manage ng agricultural land and the practice of organic farming para maiwasan yung soil pollution. Next is proper solid waste treatment. Kailangan maging responsable sa pagtapon ng basura ang isang tao. Nabubulok sa nabubulok, di nabubulok sa di nabubulok. So, para maging healthy ang paligid. Next is strengthen policies that manage pollution. The best way to control soil pollution is to strictly control yung mga human activities na nag-cause ng pollution katulad ng mining and industrial pollutants. So, dapat maging responsable na ang mga tao para sa nilang sarili at para na rin sa ibang tao. So, next pollution that I'm going to discuss is about radioactive pollution or radiation pollution. Radiation means emission of energy as electromagnetic wave like visible light, microwave, infrared, radio wave, UV light, and X-ray. So we are surrounded in a lots of technological devices katulad ng cellphones, TV, and computer na nag-cause ng low level of radiation. Pero merong mga human activities tulad ng paggamit ng radioactive material, testing nuclear weapon, and mining of radioactive ores na nag-generate ng sobrang taas na level ng radiation. That is what we call radioactive waste. At kapag nag-increase ang normal level of radiation sa paligid due to the human activities, it is known as radioactive radiation. So again, ang radioactive pollution is defined as the increase in the natural radiation levels caused by human activities. So we have here types of radioactive pollution. First is continuous pollution. Ito ay nangyayari lamang constantly coming from uranium mines, nuclear reactors, and test laboratories. Whereas yung radioactive contaminants ay laging present. Sa occasional pollution naman, nangyayari ito kapag may experimental test or nuclear test na nangyayari. Sa accidental pollution, ito naman yung mga experiment na nawawala sa control. Yung mga certain experiments involving dangerous substances ay nag-fail. We also have effects of radioactive pollution. So ano nga ba yung mga epekto ng radioactive pollution sa ating environment? So we have two types of radiation, the non-ionizing radiation and ionizing radiation. So every day tayo na i-expose sa non-ionizing radiation, which is hindi naman gaano nakaka-apekto sa ating health. Whereas on the other hand, sa ionizing radiation, it can penetrate through our skin na nagkakos ng damage sa ating cell and tissue na pwedeng mag-lead sa iba't ibang sakit. And yes, it can destroy the strand of DNA na pwedeng maapektuhan ang ating future generation. Not only that, if the radiation enters in face tissue, it can cause hair loss, mouth ulceration, and severe cases like cancer, including leukemia, anemia, hemorrhage, and premature aging. But remember, although radioactive pollution is hazardous, it can be quickly brought under control by following these specific steps. Proper method of disposing of radioactive waste, proper labeling, banning of nuclear tests, alternative energy sources, proper storage, reusing, and precaution at the personal level. In proper method of disposing of radioactive waste, since hindi ito pwedeng igaya sa normal waste na binabaon lamang sa lupa, ay pwedeng gawin na i-store dito sa heavy concrete containers. Sa proper labeling naman, it is necessary na yung mga radioactive material ay merong labeled at may precaution advice. Kasi kapag may gumamit nito and walang mga precautions and labels, maaaring hindi makapaganda ng mga protective gear ang taong magamit nito. So, mahalaga na merong mga precautions and label kasi kapag ginamit ng isang tao yung material na naglalaman ng radioactive radiation, pwede siyang makapagsuot muna ng mga protective gear bago gamitin ito. So, next is banning of nuclear tests. Even though yung mga nuclear test ay sinasagawa sa desert, it will end up escaping from one ecosystem to another na pwedeng makaapekto sa buhay ng maraming tao. Next is alternative energy sources. So, kailangan natin magkaroon ng alternative energy sources para maiwasan yung radioactive pollution. So, ang pwede natin magamit ay yung renewable sources of energy, namely solar or hydraulic, electric, and the wind power. So, with that, maiiwasan yung epekto ng radiation sa environment and sa health ng human. Next is proper storage. So, proper storage means no harm and can minimize cases of accidental leakage. So, next is reusing. So, sabi ko nga kanina, it is not easy to store or dispose the radioactive waste. So, ang mas mabuting gawin is i-recycle na lang, and it can be used for other purposes like in another reactor as a fuel. Last is precaution at the personal level. Kapag ang bahay niyo ay malapit sa nuclear power plant, it is recommended to check the level of radon gas sa inyong bahay. Or mas mabuti na i-remove na lang ito. And of course, yung mga workers na gumagamit ng radioactive materials is nasa sobrang delikado din. They need a protective measures to keep away from radioactive contamination. And that's all. To end this report, I want to give a quote stating that be a part of solution, not a part of pollution. Since isa tayo sa mga nagko-contribute sa pollution, habang may oras pa, baguhin na natin yung mga responsableng gawain na nakakasama sa ating environment at syempre sa ating mga tao. Hindi biro ang hatid ng epekto ng pollution sa mga tao, sa mga halaman and animals. Nasa kamay nating mga tao ang pagbabago. Simulan natin yon sa ating mga sarili. Dapat na tayong maging responsable for our own sake and to our future generation. Again, be a part of solution, not a part of pollution. So that's all. Sana may natutunan kayo and